How do you develop persistence? How do you develop persistence? Hi, my name is Ann McMillan. I am the Master Wealth Builder, helping you to build a wealthier business and life. Sharing my Ann's Wonderful Words of Wisdom from the McNeil Factor Insights from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And as we walk through the principles of success, because principles are everything, everything starts and ends with a principle. I want to challenge you to think about, how do you persist until you succeed? But succeed at what? Well, as we walk through the principles espoused by Napoleon Hill, discussing all of these principles, today's principle focus is on the principle of persistence. We started talking about, how do you develop persistence? And Napoleon Hill says that there are 4 simple steps which lead to the habit of persistence. They call for no great amount of intelligence, no particular amount of education, and but little time or effort. But these are the necessary steps. First, you must have a definite purpose backed by a burning desire. You must have a purpose, because if you persist on what? Second, you must have a definite plan expressed in continuous action. Third, you must have a mind. Your mind should be closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences. And then fourth, you must have a friendly alliance with one or more persons who will encourage you to follow through with both your plan and your purpose. As I was preparing for this conversation about persistence, I found another book that I'd like to share a principle with you, and it was from one of my other favorite books, entitled The Greatest Salesman. The Greatest Salesman by Ogmandino. And he did a phenomenal job as he talked about the scrolls. And if you're familiar with the greatest salesman in the world, scroll number 1 talks about the fact of forming great habits. Scroll number 2 about having really a great day. But scroll number 3 is about the power of persistence. And when I started going over this weekend, I was reminded, because I wrote in the margin of my book, the year 20 years ago, almost to the day, I read this, and I began every 30 days to use his 30-day challenge, really was what it was, to focus on 1 scroll a day. But for you today, I'd like to read in your hearing, if that's okay with you. I'm asking for your permission. I guess I received it. Thank you so very much. I'd just like to talk about some of the things he shared, and I'll just read them into your hearing, about the power of persistence. Agmedino says that in the Orient, young bulls are tested for the fight in the arena. And the way they're tested, they're actually pricked. Yes. And as they are pricked, they are then persisting to go after the matador, if you will. But Napoleon Hill and Ogmandino, a lot of times we don't realize that these were contemporaries. Yes, they were contemporaries. Ogmandino was influenced by the writing of Napoleon Hill. So this book, The Greatest Salesman in the World, is actually based upon the principles espoused in Think and Grow Rich, and many of the other laws and principles discussed. But Ogmandino goes on, he says, I was not delivered into this world in defeat, because I will persist until I succeed. Nor does failure course in my veins. I am not a sheep awaiting to be prodded by my way by a shepherd. I am a lion, and I refuse to talk, to walk, to sleep, with the sheep. I will hear not those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. Let them join the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. And I want to just challenge you to think about this. When you don't persist until you succeed, are you like the sheep? Are you like those who complain? I'd like to challenge you to say this. I will persist until I succeed. He goes on to share the prizes of life are not at the end of each journey, not near the beginning. And it is not given to me to know how many steps are necessary in order to reach my goal. Failure I may still encounter at the thousandth step, yet success hides behind the next bend in the road. Never will I know how close it lies unless I turn the corner. Always will I take another step. If that is of no avail, I will take another and yet another. In truth, one step at a time is not too difficult. And that's what I like to challenge you to do. One step is persisting. The next step is persisting. And then the next step, if you just keep persisting, you will persist until you succeed. Henceforth, I will consider each day's effort as but one blow of my blade against a mighty oak. The first blow may cause not a tremor in the wood, nor the second, nor the third, but each blow of itself may be trifling and seem of no consequence. Yet, from childish swipes, the oak will eventually tumble. So it will be of all of my efforts of today. I will success. I will persist until I succeed. I will be likened to the raindrop which washes away the mountain, and the ant who devours a tiger, the star which brightens the earth, the slave who builds a pyramid. I will build my castle one brick at a time, for I knew that small attempts, repeated, will complete any undertaking. I will persist until I succeed. What about you? Are you willing to persist until you succeed? I will never consider defeat. I will remove from my vocabulary such words and phrases as quit, cannot, unable, impossible, out of the question, unworkable, hopeless, and retreat. For they are words of fools. Yes, he said it. Words of fools. I will avoid despair, but if this disease of the mind should infect me, then I will work on in despair. I will toil and I will endure. I will ignore the obstacles at my feet and keep my eyes on the goals above my head, for I know where dry desert ends, green grass grows. I will persist until I succeed. I will remember the ancient law of averages and I will bend it to my good. I will persist with knowledge that each failure to sell will increase my chances for success at the next attempt. Each day I hear will bring me closer to the sound of yea. Each frown I meet only prepares me for the smile to come. Each misfortune I encounter will carry in it the seed of tomorrow's good luck. I must have the night to appreciate the day. I must fail often to succeed only but once. I will persist until I succeed. I will try and try and try again. Each obstacle I will consider as a mere detour to my goal and a challenge to my profession. I will persist and develop my skills. All right. As the mariner develops his by learning to ride out the wrath of each storm. I will persist until I succeed. Henceforth, I will learn and apply another secret to those who excel in my work. When each day is ended, not regarding whether it has been a success or a failure, I will attempt to achieve one more sale. When my thoughts beckon my tired body homeward, I will resist the temptation to depart. I will try again. I will make one more attempt to close with victory. And if that fails, I will make another and yet another. Thus, will I plant the seed of tomorrow's success and gain an insurmountable advantage over those who cease their labor. And as prescribed time when others cease their struggle, then mine will begin and my harvest will be full. I will persist until I succeed, nor will I allow yesterday's success to lull me into today's complacency. For this is the great foundation of failure. I will forget the happenings of the day that is gone, whether they were good or bad, and greet the new day with sun and confidence. And with this will be the best day of my life. So long as there is breath in me, that long will I persist. For now I know one of the greatest principles of success. I will persist long enough to win. I will persist. I will win. And that, with that, my friend, I will challenge you today, as always, to persist until you succeed with a spirit of excellence. My name is Ann McNeil, and I am the Master Wealth Builder, helping you to build a stronger and better life and business with these principles of success. But will you persist until you succeed with a spirit of excellence? Will you? The choice is yours. I will challenge you and encourage you. Follow me on all the social media platforms and subscribe to my YouTube channel. But until then, the question for you today is this: will you persist until you succeed with the spirit of excellence, or will you quit? The choice is yours. Until then, I want to continue to thank you always for thinking and growing richer with me. And as always, I will, yes, yes, yes,